Legend of the Giant Serpent's Bride. Once upon a time, in the western part of Nagaland, there lived a beautiful girl who was loved by many men in her village. However, she wanted to find her true soulmate and turned down all marriage proposals. She lived with her parents, who were hardworking farmers but not wealthy. Every day, she helped her family in the fields, sometimes alone or with her younger siblings. Little did she know, a giant snake with magical powers had been watching her. One fine day, when she was working alone, the giant snake took this opportunity to meet the beautiful girl, who transformed himself into a handsome young man and befriended her. On the days when she was alone or accompanied by her younger siblings, he would appear in the fields to help her with her work. As they toiled together, their friendship deepened and blossomed into a profound love. Yet, the snake was not in a rush to propose. Seasons passed, and with each year, the harvest grew more abundant, all because of the snake's magical powers. The harvest from the field was so abundant that the family often struggled to carry all the grains and produce home. Year after year, their yields continued to grow, far surpassing anything they had ever experienced. The girl's family, who were once struggling, now became incredibly wealthy from selling their crops. Villagers marveled at their fortune and began to show them newfound respect. The snake was cunning and clever. He never asked for anything in return for his help. Instead, he patiently waited for the perfect moment to reveal his true intentions, knowing that the time would come when he would claim his prize. The beautiful young girl was simple and naive, unaware of the true nature of the handsome man who appeared to her in the fields. Her heart raced with curiosity. Who was he? Where is he from? She sensed he was not from her village, but the mystery only deepened. One bright afternoon, while working alone in the fields, she decided it was finally time to ask him. She mustered her courage. "What is your name?" she asked, her heart racing. He smiled and simply replied, "You will know in due time, for now it's not important." "Where do you come from?" she pressed. He looked thoughtful for a moment before answering. "I am an orphan from the East." His vague replies only fueled her desire to learn more about him. As they worked side by side, laughter and light conversation filled the air. But beneath the surface, she was curious. For many years, the girl and the young man's love grew stronger. However, her parents began to feel suspicious about her relationship with this mysterious stranger. Her younger siblings often talk about the handsome man who helped in the fields whenever their parents were not around. The family's fortune had transformed dramatically thanks to his help, leaving the villagers baffled. How had this once struggling family become so wealthy in just a few short years? Curiosity spread among the villagers, who exchanged glances and murmurs, wondering what secret lay behind their sudden fortune. One sunny day, the giant snake transformed himself into a handsome young man. He decided it was time to reveal his plan to the girl. He felt it was finally time for her to leave her parents' home and join him forever. He knew her family had grown rich thanks to his help, and they were now secure and respected in the village. He had done so much for them, and her parents felt indebted and eager to welcome him as their new son in law. Confidently, he proposed marriage, and the girl, overjoyed, immediately said yes. They quickly made plans for the wedding, excited to begin their new life together. Now that her family was well established, when she shared the news with her parents, they happily agreed to the union. However, the young man had one condition. He would not come to the village to meet her family. Instead, he insisted that her parents and relatives come to the field on a specific day to discuss the marriage. This request puzzled them, but they trusted him, believing he had their best interests at heart. On the appointed day, the girl's parents and relatives arrived at the field, bringing a array of food, including meat and plenty of rice beer. When they reached the field, they found a young man waiting for them, dressed in his finest attire. He had also brought a mithun and a large pig as gifts for her family. Despite the celebration, he still kept his identity a secret, only saying he came from the east and that they would learn more about him in time. The family speculated that he might be a prince or from a powerful family, as he spoke fluent Yimkhunger without a hint of doubt. After a delicious meal, both parties sat down to discuss the marriage details. The girl's family did not ask for a dowry, instead, inviting the young man to give whatever he thought appropriate, knowing they owed their newfound wealth to him. Once the date and time were set, they parted ways, excited for the upcoming union. Back in her village, the girl eagerly began preparing to leave her parents' home. She gathered everything she would need to start her new life, while her family and villagers showered her with gifts and blessings. On the appointed day, they set out together, accompanied by friends and family, all celebrating the joyful occasion. Upon reaching the field, the girl's family found a handsome young man waiting for them in full Yimkhunger warrior attire. He looked even more striking than before, radiating strength and charm. They greeted each other warmly and settled in for the final feast, filled with laughter and joy. As the meal concluded, the young man presented an astonishing array of gifts to the girl's parents: precious ornaments, a mithun, a cow, a pig, a stag, tiger teeth, wild boar teeth, hornbill feathers, armlets made from the elephant tusk, a dao, a spear, and various cultivating tools. The sheer quality and value of the gifts left everyone in awe. They could not fathom how he could carry all this by himself, as no one else had accompanied him for the meeting. With a confident smile, the young man explained that his relatives and friends had simply dropped off the items before leaving. The family was amazed and honored, feeling the weight of his generosity and the significance of the moment. As the sun began to set, both families knew it was time to say goodbye. Before they left, the young man spoke seriously to the girl's parents and relatives. "Do not look back until the sun had fully set," he warned. "If you do, you will never see your daughter again. But if you listen to me, you will see a light in the distance, showing that we have arrived safely. You can meet her again every 3 years at this spot." They all agreed and set off in different directions, the newlyweds heading east, excited for their new future. However, the girl's mother felt a deep longing. 3 years felt like too long to be away from her daughter. Unable to resist, she turned back, hoping for one last look. What she saw made her scream and faint. Her family rushed to her side, splashing her with cold water until she woke up. "What happened?" they asked, concerned. With shaking hands, she pointed towards where the couple had gone. "They have turned into snakes," she cried. The villagers gasped in shock as they turned to see. The young couple had transformed into two giant snakes, slithering away into the east. A voice echoed in the air saying, "Because you broke your promise, you will never see her again." Alas, the parents and relatives were overwhelmed with grief at the sight of their beloved daughter transformed into a giant snake, now married to a mysterious serpent. All they could do was lament their loss. Despite their sorrow, they wished her well, knowing it was her choice to follow her heart. From that day on, they never saw or heard from her again. The last image burnt into their minds was of the couple, now massive snakes slithering away towards the east, disappearing with the sunrise. Many generations later, in the year 1972 to 1973, Workers from the Border Roads organization near the Yai River between the villages of Lascure and Sicure on the way to Kifri district tragically killed a giant female snake. While digging up a large stone, the bulldozer unearthed two enormous snakes, a male and a female, along with several other snakes. As the male and the other snakes managed to escape, the female bravely stayed behind to protect them. In her selfless act, she was crushed by the bulldozer's blade. A few days after the female giant snake was killed, a woman from a nearby village, known for her prophetic dreams, spoke about her dream. A giant male snake, disguised as a young warrior, visited her. He revealed his sorrow and anger, vowing to take revenge on humans for the loss of his beloved wife. After that night, he never appeared to anyone again, either in dreams or in reality. Locals often report seeing a bright light flickering in the deep jungle, especially near rocky cliffs. The villagers believed this light belongs to the male giant snake and warned each other not to disturb him. They regard him as a powerful spirit, a demon who cannot be killed. Those who attempt to harm him are said to meet a terrible fate, as the memory of his love and the sorrow of his loss continue to resonate in the hearts of the people. It is said that he now roams the thick forests and the high cliffs of these villages. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to discover more enchanting tales and rich traditions from the comfort of your home.